Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dadas Show, coming to you from Emara Ole Sereni Hotel here in Nairobi. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. Now, the Dadas Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity. And we do this by creating an open and a safe platform for women to discuss issues pertaining to their health, their lifestyle, their work, their families, and anything that affects them in one way or another. Now, today's conversation is on body shaming. Body shaming has been defined as expressing mockery or criticism about somebody's shape, size, and appearance of their body. Now, body shaming can be carried out in person or remotely via social media or the internet. This can also be carried out by anybody. Anybody can actually be body shamed, and anybody can body shame somebody else. It can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be your colleagues. Now, none of us is immune to the societal pressures on how we appear, on our appearances and how we carry ourselves out. That said, body shaming is completely unnecessary in whichever context and has been closely linked to psychological issues such as body dysmorphia. It has been linked to depression and anxiety, which most times have actually had fatal consequences. Now, today's conversations, we will be exploring the nuances of body shaming, and we will ask questions such like, what does body shaming look like? What does body shaming sound like? And how can we be able to fight back against body shaming? I am also joined by wonderful, brilliant, very, very brave victims and survivors of body shaming. So we will get a moment to actually interact and see, how did this come up to you? How have you been able to fight back? Because I know so many of us are actually going through that. Now, remember, we always look forward to hearing from you. Give us your questions, your feedback, your comments on this and any other topic that we may have on our newly launched Facebook page at Dadas Show KBC. We look forward to hearing from you every single day. You can also reach me directly at Ashiko the host across all social media platforms. Now, before we get started, let's take a look at the following feature.
Body shaming is the act of saying something negative about a person's body. The negative comments can be about a person's size, age, hair, clothes, food, or level of perceived attractiveness. According to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the first known use of the term body shaming was used by journalist Philip Ellis. Body shaming is most often about body size, but negative comments about facet of a person's body count as body shaming. In our current society, many people think that thin bodies are inherently better and healthier than larger bodies. However, that is not the case. One of the most common reasons people are body shamed is because of their weight for being too big or too thin. The act of body shaming can also be carried out via the internet and social media and can be done by your parents, siblings, friends, or people you are not even close to. Body shaming on digital platform is related to cyberbullying. During the 2022 general elections, Women's Rights and Digital Rights Group said that women vying for various positions endured online body shaming. Mercy Mwangi, program coordinator at the Kenya Women Parliamentary Association, said women lawmakers are reported more online abuse ahead of the vote. These included sexism, humiliating or sexualized imagery. Teenagers are particularly vulnerable to body shaming, weight shaming, and appearance-based shaming. In the teen years, attitudes and beliefs about body image and self-esteem are largely influenced by family members, peers, and social media. Hearing negative comments about your appearance can impact your body image and leave you feeling anxious and self-conscious. Even in a joking manner, remarks about what you eat or how much food you consume constitutes of body shaming. Giving someone advice about dieting or praising weight loss is also considered as body shaming, whether intentional or not. Often, your friends and family members don't want to hurt your feelings, but their comments can still be of a critical nature. Experiencing body shaming can interfere with your self-image and make you feel extremely self-conscious. This can escalate into body dysmorphic disorder, where you become obsessed with a perceived appearance flaw that can create repeated avoidance behaviors. also may lead to eating disorder, where one may start a diet that involves restrictive eating in an attempt to change your body shape or size. But such dieting can spiral into harmful behaviors like skipping meals, fasting, vomiting after eating, excessive exercising, or overusing laxatives. Body shaming can trigger or worsen existing symptoms of anxiety and depression. Building body positivity is a continuous journey towards accepting yourself and others. It takes patience and practice to alter long-standing cultural beliefs and learn self-compassion. You can't control what others say or do, but you can change your all or nothing thinking and start to view yourself as a whole person. Some of the practices to put in place include cultivate self-love, replace negative self-talk, manage time spent on social media, reach out to someone you trust for guidance and support. For Dadas Show, my name is Miriam Asava.
Welcome back to Dadas Show. If you're just joining us, the topic of the day is body shaming and its impact on our mental health. Remember, we've defined body shaming as expressing criticism and mockery about somebody's shape, size, and appearance of their body. Remember to also reach us on our newly launched Facebook page at Dadas Show KBC, or my page at Ashiko the Host. Now, to get us started, I am joined by some wonderful ladies who, unfortunately or fortunately, have learned a thing or two on body shaming from their own personal experiences, and they're here to explore. Let's explore, let us castigate, let us completely define this modern day menace. So right next to me, I have Miss Audrey Oluyole, who is a survivor. Audrey actually, in this particular instance, is going to be wearing two hats. She's a survivor of body shaming, and she's also a clinical psychologist. Have I got it correctly?
Yeah.
Perfect. So now, you wear two hats in one, which is very interesting because you'd always assume like somebody who is a psychologist or a counselor or who has actually any form of education on mental health would be immune to these things. It would
Sadly,
be like
no.
rubber bullets. Mtu ananiambia unakaa hivi nasema sitaki kujua, niko na self-awareness. You know?
Sadly, no.
So karibu sana Audrey, you'll tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank
and
you.
then we have Anne Waithera, who is also a survivor and a fashion designer. So talk about changing lemons into lemonade. Because she's like, oh, you don't like this, you think I don't have clothes my size, I'm going to make my own clothes. So fantastic. I'm very, very, very encouraged. And as always, I'd love to acknowledge my wonderful audience who take time week in, week out to sit in with me as we discuss contentious issues affecting the people of Kenya. Not just women. When we're talking body shaming, I believe body shaming cuts across both genders. So karibuni sana to Dadas Show, and we will definitely be interacting a little bit later during the question and answer session. So to start us off, Audrey, tell us a little bit about yourself. Yeah,
Okay.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana, Ashiko. So my name is Audrey Oluyole. I'm 32 years young. A psychologist, as you've mentioned. I'm also a mother of two, a baby girl and baby boy. Yes.
Karibu sana, Audrey. Thank you so much for joining us. And next we have Anne. Kindly tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Anne Waithera, known as Anne Waithera for my brand. I'm a mother of two girls, two teenagers, and two boys. And I'm also a fashion consultant. I do designing, anything fashion, casual and anything, and also an MC.
Oh, and also an MC.
An MC.
Wow. So, nikifika pahali, I can tap in and say,
Yes.
endelea tafadhali.
Yes.
So now the topic today is on body shaming. But I want, before we jump into it, remember we are exploring the nuances of what body. Clarify for us what constitutes as the parameters of body shaming.
All right, to just put it in simple terms, it is, as you put it, negatively connoting to someone you don't look good by the shape of your body. In terms of you should be slim, you should be fat, you should be muscular, because guys are told you should be muscular in a way, you should have biceps or, the works. So basically when somebody body shames you, they're putting you in a certain bubble that they see that you should fit in. I'll give myself as an example. Being 32, someone would say, I shouldn't have a tummy, for example. I should be flat-tummied, and I should have a pear kind of shape. So body shaming basically constitutes of that. Somebody society putting all of us in a certain bubble that see us to be fitting in. Yeah.
So we're looking at, making negative comments about somebody's body, or perhaps judging somebody, like you've rightfully said, kama mwanaume anakuwa judge kama ana biceps amekonda sana.
Hiyo si mwanaume.
Hiyo si mwanaume, hiyo ni body shaming.
Yes.
So, I think by defining it, we can be able to denote when somebody is saying, by the way, you're body shaming, because I know that certain terms are thrown around very loosey-goosey in society. And many people are being accused of, oh, you're too sensitive, oh, that's not politically correct.
Yes.
It would be important for us to know, once you make a negative comment about somebody's body, or you judge somebody on their appearance, or you even spread rumors and lies about somebody's body, that's body shaming.
Yes, there's also another thing. If, for example, I go to the gym and I become as small as she is, someone will suddenly say, uyo ni mgonjwa, ama akona shida.
Yes.
So that's also part of body shaming, because maybe I've decided that's how I want to look. But you're coming in with your own parameters, your own judgment to say that, no, you shouldn't look like that, because that's not healthy according to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is body shaming is subjective.
Yes.
It's not objective.
No.
It is not based on any facts.
No.
It is just based on your on your opinion,
Yes.
what somebody should look like. Now, both of you have experienced body shaming firsthand. Let me start with you, Anne. Kindly share with us your experience.
So myself, I've been tiny. At some point at 32 years of age, I'm 36 now, I was 32 kgs.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was pregnant. You're 32 kgs and you're pregnant. And you go to the hospital and the nurses are asking you, are you sure you're pregnant? Are you carrying a chicken? What is it you're carrying? And even at home, people are looking at you like, are you okay? Are you sick? At some point, my mom-in-law had to go through a point of almost getting depressed, because we would go to VCT almost every time. Because the women at the hood, they're telling her, your son's wife is sick. She looks sick. She cannot be 32 kgs. And I would go around walking on the road, buying those chips on the road, smokies, anything, just to eat, just to see whether I can add weight, and nothing worked. I would sit down and even pray and cry and take water and take everything. I would cook food and make sure there is extra oil, because I want to be, to add weight, because it is too much. And even where you're living, the women at the plot where I used to stay, they're looking at you, are you a kid? You got married young. Can we see your ID? Like, I could wash clothes in the house and wait for my husband to come back in the evening to take them out, because I was afraid of going out, was afraid of walking. My mom-in-law would do everything, because it was too much for me. It was too much for me. Too much of, at some point, losing so many things and so many deals. I sing, I'm a worshiper as well. Yes. But I would be called to go in a place and sing, but I didn't have the confidence. I would be called for gigs to go and MC, I didn't have the confidence. I would see a good design in my head, I want to design it for myself, but even if I wear it, I don't feel it, because everyone is looking at you like, you're sick. No, you're not well, you're not okay. Anything I wear, I would wear jeans. I was telling a friend of mine, I would wear jeans and put something else inside, just to lie to my head that I'm looking bigger, which never worked. It was so bad, it was so bad. I can tell you, most of my friends, I see them on TVs, they are driving, some of them are big celebrities, those we used to work with those days. They are driving big cars, but for me, it took me just like 2 years ago. It's when I decided now it is me, let me go out. Because I started adding some little weight. That's when I started adding weight. But you can see I lost a lot of things. People would call me, we are going for this show in Nakuru, can you come? They are paying well. And I would lie, I'm not in Nairobi, but I'm in the house. I'm afraid of...
You're afraid of leaving because of the comments.
Yeah, because the comments was too many. Your sisters are commenting about your weight, your neighbors are commenting about your weight, your aunties are, but they are commenting about your weight. As in everyone around you, could just hear in my head, tea. Every time I want to go out, I remember, oh, I'm skinny, I go back. Anytime I want to go out.
And you say you were skinny your whole life? It's
Yeah.
not until like it was a drastic change that one morning you woke up and you know the weight.
No,
You
I've
had
been-
always been that size.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
skinny. It's not
Yeah.
like I just woke up one morning and I was skinny. No,
Yeah.
I've been skinny. But when I was a little girl, I was at least I was chubby. But when people started knowing me, I was skinny. I've been skinny. So I was like, why are you judging me now?
And
Why
I've
are you
always been
saying-
like
Yeah,
that.
I've always been like that.
Yeah.
And then the problem came in when I gave birth to my third born. I added weight. I was 105 kgs. Now it became a problem. Everywhere I would go, wow, Akiana nakaki mama. She looks like an old mama.
Now,
She
what do they
looks-
want? When you
Yeah.
were skinny,
Yeah.
when you were skinny, they were commenting. Now you've put on weight. Says unakaa kimama.
Again, now I started buying those things too.
To hold anything.
hold my
yeah, yeah,
tummy.
we are aware of those ones.
And I could not breathe. You're sitting somewhere, you can't breathe.
Yes.
I started now even cutting my hair. I had a very long hair, beautiful hair. But I had to cut my hair so that at least to make myself look little, at least skinny, because now I'm too big and everyone is coming. You go to church, the first thing, the usher, hi, why you need to do something? You look 50.
Yeah, those are the comments, aren't they? And you see, the thing is, and I'll come back, we'll review that in a bit. You've said that comment was from church.
Church.
This is church, you know, where you think all things holy, people, you know, are going to practice compassion.
Yes.
People are going to be gracious.
Yeah.
But there's someone saying, hey, you need to do something about it. So it even goes back to how we started the show and we said anybody can body shame. And sometimes it's even unintentional. So that is why it's so important for us to actually shine light on exactly what is body shaming. So that when you can be more sensitive that when I'm saying that comment, am I body shaming? I think all of us have been guilty of removing a comment that leans towards body shaming. I thank you so much for your story, Anne. Now, you experienced the same thing.
Yeah.
And you see what was most interesting is you're a psychologist. And you'd think that you are immune.
I'm bulletproof.
You're bulletproof, that if people can say whatever, you know yourself, you know yourself, you know your worth, you know what you stand for. But it affected you as well.
Yes, it did.
Yes, please, share with us your story.
Now, opposite of her, me have always been chubby, from babyhood all the way. But I've been able to carry my weight.
Yes.
There's nothing I've not been able to do. I've run with my friends around when I was small. Neighbors would even tell my mom, mtoto wako ni mkubwa, but she's very fast.
She's very fast, yeah.
So you'd expect them to be a bit more sensitive, but they're like, how can you be that big but be able to run that fast? So for me, it was never an issue. It became an issue when now I joined high school.
Yes.
And you know now teenagers,
Brutal.
how very brutal. So your classmates go like, I think unafaa kuwa unakimbia laps. You should be running laps in the field to try cut your weight. Teachers also would actually come, you know, like visiting day when your parents come with, you're told, hufai kula hivyo sana. So now it started getting to me. When it came to now going out with my friends in campus, you'd notice when you go out, they'd be wooed by guys, but you'd stay on the table because you don't fit that parameter.
Yes.
So it now, I became a shut-in. I stopped socializing, I stopped going out, because now I felt like I'm not good enough.
Yes.
No boy would like me, I wouldn't have friends, because fortunately or unfortunately, most of my friends were petite for some weird reason.
Yeah.
So I felt like I didn't fit in. Going to the job market now, as you said, being a psychologist, you'd think I'd be immune. But you'd find someone saying, if you want a promotion, unafaa kupunguza weight. If you want to go far in life, you need to look this way or that way. But fortunately now for me, I had a good support network.
Yes.
My mom, from way when I was young, kept on telling me, you know what, that's who you are. You've noticed you won't go to fit into a size 8. What you do, just make sure you're healthy, make sure you're fit, and your heart is okay. I've gone to hospital even when she was pregnant, she was asked if she's carrying a chicken. Sorry to repeat it. But for me, I was asked, uko sure una shida ya roho? With all that weight you're carrying, uko sure you've never had hypertension? And this is a doctor asking you. So you're like, okay, you've looked at me, you've judged me, and you're thinking I should be having issues. I've gone to hospital with a knee pain, and the first thing I'm told is you need to lose weight.
You need to lose weight,
Yeah. And the doctor won't give it a second. I'm sure many have also experienced that. The doctor will look at you and be like, uko na homa, your weight is your issue. Or you're suffering from this, your weight is your issue. They won't take time to listen to, you've had this pain for this long and this is why it is there. Somehow I'm bulletproof, but at times when you're at home, you're like, you know what, maybe, you know, just maybe when I'm a bit smaller, society will accept me more. Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate, you know, that you would feel like that. But you see, that's also not stopped you because you're very active on social media.
Yeah.
You know, you blog your fitness and all of that. Now, coming back to social media, because when we started off, we talked about body shaming. The action itself can be done remotely or it can actually be done in person. Now, the thing about social media is everybody is a warrior then, keyboard warriors. Very rarely, aside from that one who was pinching your stomach and the one who was saying that you're carrying a chicken, very rarely will someone step up to you and tell you, as in intentionally to hurt you. There are those comments that come from members of the family most of the time that, madam, maisha ni mzuri, naona kakilo, you know. But rarely will someone have the confidence to come up straight to your face and tell you you're fat, you're ugly. But on social media, on the internet, people are brutal. And I think what the genesis for us deciding to do this episode is because I saw a video of a lady and she became the ambassador. I was really, really hoping to have her on the show, but she was not available. And she talked about, and she was hitting back to somebody who had trolled her on her sides. You know, she's a little bit bigger. And she is absolutely gorgeous. And she made it so comical. She made it so comical, and she was talking about, we need to focus on other things. Where do you want me to take my stomach? And I really thought to myself about how people have all these guts to just come out and insult somebody. So what role does social media play actually, Anne, in promoting, you know, actually the question is, what does social media play a role in promoting body shaming, and if yes, how?
Yes, it does. Let me tell you, like when I gave birth, I started I love taking photos. I can take photos anytime, anywhere. Like today I've taken like 1 million. So, when I gave birth, I would take photos like normal and I post it, and I started noticing the comments. So I would take photos here.
Yeah.
Selfie, and then I don't post this side because it was too much. The comments were too much. It was too many, even strangers. People you don't know. And then the worst thing is, in the comment section below, they tag your husband. Oh, they're like, hey, you need to take her to the gym. Asaya kaipoa. You don't even look like a fashion consultant. Like, I'm like, now which one should I wear? I had to now stop posting. At some point, I had deactivated my social accounts, waiting to lose weight, and it's not going. So I had to stay like that, and I'm a social person. But then again, someone sat me down and told me, until when are you going to hide? You look good like this, and oh, I look good. Immediately when they told me that, just going out, I had a bad comment. They have told me I look good, so I activate all my social accounts, and I'm looking good, I'm happy. I post a photo.
You're feeling confident.
Yeah, I'm feeling confident. Then I go out. The first comment, it was bad. It was terrible. I felt like, really, what do they want? If I'm skinny, go for checkup. Sure. If I add weight, I look like a 70-something years old. What do I do? Oh, like social media contributes a lot. A lot. Like it is always good to know when you're commenting. Think about something. Think about it in your head. If someone commented the same on my picture, how would I feel? Yeah. And it has helped me a lot. Before I reply on something, I always think about it before I say something.
What about you, Audrey? Do you believe that social media plays a role in promoting body shaming?
Yes, a very, very big role. People hide behind anonymity.
Of course.
So if I come to your page, I won't post as Audrey. I'll have created a pseudo account so that I can say whatever I want to say to you. Oh, your face looks like this. Or you should lose the fat on your arms. Or you look 70 years old. Or if it's a guy, I'd tell him, ata kama unakaa hivyo ukai mwanaume, you know. And that has driven a lot of men to go into steroids because now they are being told, for example, if it's a skinny guy, how will you protect your house looking like that? You know. So social media plays a big role into body shaming, because it creates a picture and people run with that picture. Then I come to comment. As you said, I'm very active on showing people my journey. It's just because I want to show them you don't have to wait to be skinny to do some things. Don't wait to lose weight to run. You can run with however you are. But I've also gotten those comments here and there with someone telling me, unafaa kuacha, stop posting, you're ugly. Why are you showing us iyo nyama ikirukaruka, you get? So people hiding behind that anonymity makes them be able to get away with so much.
To get away with so much, yeah, because nobody's holding them accountable.
True.
Nobody's holding them accountable. And of course, like there's something that you mentioned, there's a picture that has been continuously perpetuated about the ideal size, the ideal body shape, the ideal look for a man, for a woman, for a child. So everybody is always trying to follow that look. And I think that's where sometimes Hollywood completely misled us. And they gave us certain images and they told us that is what a perfect woman should look like. You know, she's got this size, her breasts are this size, her hips are this size, and that is what. And we are getting into diets. We are putting too much oil in our foods. We are doing all these things to follow a notion of what perfection looks like. I mean, that's pretty sad for us as a society, you know. Now, just before we go on for a quick break, Audrey, I'll come back to you. What do you think, as a psychologist, do you think body shaming is actually linked to mental health, or are people just being too sensitive? There's someone who used the word sensitive, you know, on me, says you're being sensitive, and I thought to myself, am I? Or is there some merit to some of these comments, you know? Is body shaming linked to mental health?
Yes, it is. Because immediately, Ashiko, I tried to box you into somewhere you don't fit in. She said it. She stopped participating in things that would have led to her career growth. I stopped socializing at some point. So being isolated gives you those feelings of being unwanted, which can now lead into depression, which can lead into anxiety. You're always anxious. Will I fit in this dress? Will I be liked? Will I get that promotion? Will I get married? You know, you're always living on edge. So a lot of body shaming contributes to a lot of mental health issues. We've had people also dying by suicide. We call it dying by suicide because they feel they're not good enough. Some even go into unhealthy eating habits, become bulimic, anorexic, because I want to lose so much weight so fast. As I've mentioned, some guys, even ladies, go into steroids because I want to look gym fit, because I've been told nimekuwa sikai mwanaume, ama I'm not looking as fit as I'm supposed to be looking. So a lot of this body shaming contributes, I think 95% into our mental health issues.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. We are going to take a quick break and then we'll come back for the question and answer session. And remember, you can always reach out to us. Tell us, what is your body shaming experience, or that you have experienced yourself, or you have actually witnessed somebody. Have you body shamed somebody? Are you now realizing that some of those comments are hurtful and can affect somebody's psychology? Can affect somebody, leading to depression, anxiety, and unfortunately sometimes even suicide. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back for the question and answer session. Don't go far away. Welcome back to Dadas Show. If you're just joining us, well, you've missed, but do not worry. All our episodes can be found on our newly launched Facebook page at Dadas Show KBC on Facebook. So you definitely can be able to find this and any other episode that we've had before, and you will be able to interact with us. Give us your questions, your comments on this and any other topic we may have. Remember, the conversation of the day is body shaming and its effect on our mental health. We are exploring the nuances of body shaming and seeing how we can be able to fight back and get our self-worth back so that we can stop suffering from issues such as anxiety, depression, and all of that. So we are in my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session, where we give my interactive audience an opportunity to ask questions and to give us a comment on the topic of the day. So to start us off, we have Edith. Edith has a question for Anne, I believe. Edith, karibu sana.
My name is Edith, a mother of one, and my question is to Anne. My question is, does complexion and skin appearance fall under body shaming as well?
Thank you, Edith. And my answer is yes. As I said, I'm a mother of 4 children. I have 2 girls, teenagers, Form 3 and Form 1. And one of my daughters is very light like me, and the other one is not light. So sometimes she would come when she was little and tell me, "Mommy, when you get money, will you make me look lighter?" And the other one, the sister, would tell me, "Mommy, will you make me look darker like my sister?" So it was confusing because this one wants to look like her sister and the other one wants to look like her mom. When she goes to school, when there's a meeting, I appear in the school and people will tell her, "No, that's not your mom. Look at how your mom is beautiful. You don't look like her." And it would really make her feel bad. Okay, she's feeling so good, like, yo, this is my mom. She's coming to school looking good. But when I go, she would feel like, God, why don't I look as brown as my mom? And the other one is like, why don't I look as dark as my dad? So I had to sit them down and talk to them and show them they are all important. No one is different. And no one paid God to look lighter. And there's nowhere it is written that when you're brown, you are more beautiful than the other one. Your sister is beautiful and you are also beautiful. You are both beautiful. So yes, even the skin complexion, it lies under also bullying. You can also bully someone by how they look like. You can tell them they are dark, and they feel bad deep inside. You can tell them they are light and they feel bad deep inside. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think that's really well put. Remember when we started, we defined body shaming as criticism or expressing criticism and or mockery of somebody's appearance, their shape, and their size. So remember, this is how you appear. And I think we really need to move away from some of those westernized notions of what beautiful looks like. Yeah. We are African. So black is beautiful. This is something this is an adage that has been spent for years. It has been sung, black is beautiful. You know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, or something of the sort. And we need to stand firm in our traditional values. You know, African women were chubby. African women were voluptuous, you know? So I think once we move back to what our roots have taught us about ourselves and we start embracing positive self-talk and self-love, then our worth will definitely increase. We'll not be able to be running to bleach our skins. We'll not be able to run to do it. And even for us who are, you know, light-skinned, it actually, sometimes it's actually like a disadvantage, to be honest, because of the kind of assumptions that people would have. Somebody would sit down and make an assumption that Ashiko is light, so most probably she's blonde. She doesn't have any common sense because attractiveness has been compared to, you know, you can't be, to lack of intelligence. So you can't be you know, smart and beautiful.
Exactly.
And when the moment you talk about something and someone says, kumbe unakuanga na akili. Hey, boss. Abane. Anyway, we can go on and on the whole day. Thank you so much, Edith. I hope your question has been answered. Our next question or comment is from Sue.
I'm Sue Musandu, founder of Parenting Teenagers Hub, a support group for parents of teenagers. In my work, I've encountered, I deal a lot with teenagers and their parents. And a lot of the self-esteem issues stem from what parents comment about the children. You find that Maybe a child has started having the pimples on the face. The girl is okay, the boy is fine. But the mother will say, you're not looking good. You need to do something about this. You're not going to go for this function or this family wedding with a face like that. I've seen it happening. Sometimes it's weight. As parents, we are exposed to a lot of dieting and what we find on social media and our friends. And then we bring it home and you tell your son, you're too fat. You have to start taking a walk or you have to start riding your bike. I believe you're supposed to, as a parent, help your child to be healthy, but do it in a way which is subtle. Say like, why don't you be coming along with me when we're going for a walk? But don't make the boy or the girl feel fat or the boy feel too thin, because this is not now what affects their self-esteem. Because if your own mother or father can tell you you don't look good, then it bashes you. It means it's the truth. And then you start finding peer pressure also now beginning to sweep you away because you want to be good and appreciated. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sue. That is deeply profound. As parents, what are we, because you're the person who is going to be setting the standards for this child.
Yeah.
You know, you're the one who's going to teach them confidence. You're the one who's teaching them security. I think it boils down in even going back to what do you believe in? What do you believe what are the standards of beauty? What are you teaching your children? Do you value yourself? Because sometimes we have a tendency of portraying our own insecurities to our kids. So you're feeling insecure about your looks, you're feeling insecure about this, and so you play it out on your child. So let us please be very cognizant of the words that are coming out of our mouths when we are talking to our kids, especially in matters of their body, their appearances, their sizes, and how they present themselves. Thank you so much, Sue, for that. Our next question or comment is from Esther. Esther, karibu sana.
Thank you, Ashiko, for the opportunity. My question goes to Audrey. When I was growing up, or when I was a teenager, I've been given a name like Yokozuna. I've been called Blackie. As a counselor, how are you able to help a teenager who comes to you, they have been called such names? How would you be able to help them out so that they can get out of it? As you can tell, I can still remember the names. There are even more names that have been called. But this week, I remembered all of them. So how can you be able to help a teenager who has been called names because of their body size or their color complexion?
Thank you, Esther, for your question. And teenagers, as I expressed before, they're very brutal. So at times we are nicknamed names like Yokozuna. I've been also called that, not once, not twice, even in my adulthood. For me, what I'd tell you, or when a teenager comes to me, I look at where their self-value is. I have to now go back to dig down, and give them the self-worth they're looking for. Because as you know, there's a very big transition in that teenage years. From 11 to around 18, there's a lot of body changes which are going on. Some people bloom early, some are late bloomers. So you'll find some of us were chubby, some are skinny. For girls, some develop breast early, some don't. For boys, some break their voice early, some don't. So there's a lot of complexity when it comes to teenagehood, and their emotions are very sensitive. So when they come up to me, or when a parent tells me to talk to their teenager, I go back to how they see themselves. I have to make them realize they need to break away from what society or social media tells them they should be, and to begin to value themselves. And we start with one thing. I don't tell them you're beautiful, no. We look for one thing they believe in. What are you good at? I'm good at my studies. So we drum that until they believe, you know what, I'm the best in that. Then now we pick up the second thing. What do you love about yourself? Some go, I love my ears, I love my eyes, I love how my hands look, I love my feet. And we grow from there. Slowly by slowly, you begin to see this person now embracing who they are. Fine, I am chubby, but that doesn't make me less than someone who's skinny. Yes, I am skinny, but that doesn't make me less than someone who's a bit plump. I am dark, but that doesn't mean I am less than the person who's lighter, or vice versa. I don't drum it all in one day. We begin slowly by slowly. And at this point, I also incorporate the parents. As Susan has said, parents are our biggest pillars. And whatever you, Esther, tell your son or daughter is what they'll carry. Now, for me, like I said, my mom was my biggest support. If she told me I am chubby, I'm ugly, no matter what someone else will come and tell me, it won't phase it. But so long as your child believes that, you know what, mommy believes I am beautiful, I am handsome. Even if me as an outside party comes in, they'll start seeing there are two people who believes in me. So it means something is special inside me. So I work with them and I make them see that not everybody develops the same way, because our hormones are different. Some people's hormones are rapid and others are slow. So yeah, that's what I can say.
So thank you so much for that question. Margaret, you have a story for us. Margaret, kindly share with us, let's see if this falls under the category of body shaming, or this is something that we can delve into. Tafadhali, Margaret.
Thanks, Ashiko. I'm Margaret and I'm a mother. And in relation to body shaming, maybe I'll share my story with my son. So my son is a young adult and he's almost my age. So once we went to the bank and the services he needed required the presence of the mother. And so the teller asked, "Didn't you know you were supposed to come with your mother?" And my son looked at me and the teller laughed herself out. So that's one experience. But the other experience I want to ask, has it led to anyone missing an opportunity? Because like in the COVID time, I went to school to pick my son and we had to do it hurriedly because there was curfew. And when we went, he asked for permission for the mother to be allowed to help him take his stuff out of the hostel. So he was told, "It's okay, your mother can come." So my son came and picked me from the vehicle and we went to the in-charge office. But when the in-charge saw the mother, he asked, "Who did you say was coming?" My son said, "My mother." He asked again, and even the third time. And finally he said, "We don't allow females into the hostel." So I was denied access and also an opportunity to help him take out his luggage. So my question is, has it led to us missing opportunities? Thank you.
Has there been an instant where you have lost, well, you did mention about losing opportunities because of psychological issues caused by body shaming?
My daughters are in boarding school. The biggest one, my firstborn, she's bigger. She's hippie, she's tall, so she looks bigger, older kidogo than me. But when you look at her face, of course you can see baby face. Now, and me, I love looking good. Like I'm very casual. I will just go with a jeans and blazer to school. So it makes you look more younger and a cape. Do you know my daughter gets bullied by her teachers because of my appearance? So I had to go to the shop and buy those pleated skirts and buy some long skirts. I think the whole of this year I've not gone to that school without a kitamba, a turban, and a long skirt, at least to look older, at least not to look good, for the teachers not to mistreat my daughter. You see? Wow. So it is really happening even today. Yes, I've lost opportunities. I know big people, I won't mention them, but I know people who are doing so well in the industry. Some of them, I saw them showing their Range Rovers on TVs, and those are people, sometime back I would help them with fare, like we were hustlers somewhere in KNT, the National Theatre. But for me, I backed down because I would go there and there's those two comments. When you go for auditions, you're doing so good, and you don't look at the camera, action, and I'm doing so well, but the comment will not make me go back. Even when I'm called, you have qualified, I will not go back. So I've lost a lot of opportunities because of the insecurities, because of how I looked. And I had a nickname, my dear. You were called Bulldozer, I was Toothpick.
I think when we continue to shine light on body shaming and what it actually looks like and sounds like, then people can be a little bit more sensitive towards each other. So thank you so much for that. We're winding up our question and answer session, but not before we hear from Teacher Simon. Teacher Simon, what do you have to say about our topic of the day?
Teacher Simon Triza, a psychologist and a theologian. I think I would just want to weigh in a bit, especially for the teenagers, that when these things happen, when you look, your complexion is different from others, when your body size is different from others, these are things we have no control over. I think I once saw the funniest photo I've ever seen was a black kid and a white kid. The black kid asking the white kid, did they take you out before you were well cooked? And the brown kid asking the black kid, did you burn? And I think while interacting with teenagers, I've also had a girl ask, maybe on a light note, when they talked about broadening of shoulders and the enlargement of the hips, was there a place to tick? Because it didn't happen to me. And so maybe one of the things we need to say, especially to teenagers and the young adults as they are growing up, is to insist on them that it is not their fault. It is not their fault that they are black. It's not their fault that they are brown. It's not their fault that they are big. It's not their fault that they are. I have my personal experiences. I've always been small, except when I hit my 40s is when I started being a bit big. I put on the same shirt from Form 1 to Form 4.
Wow.
And the same trouser. And I think my experience has been people want to treat me like a young boy because I look young. The most recent was a wedding I was emceeing. It was a 50th anniversary for a couple. And then there were these friends of the lady who are talking about how they have had a chama for about 30 years, and then they would tell me, MC, we started this before you were born. And so, although sometimes it will not feel painful, it can lead to some, what I would call disrespect in some places. Yeah. Like you go, I facilitate parents' meetings, and you are there looking just, because I will not grow a big beard so that I can look old. Yeah. And people are looking at you and like, are you talking from experience or theory? And so it is something we should tell, especially to the teenagers, it is not your fault. To the young men, about six-pack, I would only have this one to say. Every man has a six-pack, only that some are not arranged. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I have a question to Audrey. It's more of an advice. So what advice will you give to someone who is undergoing the body shaming every single day?
One, believe in who you are. As Teacher Simon has said, we are all different. And some of these changes are not ours to make. Science has come. There are those who are able to do surgeries. I do not shame them for that. That's their own narrative. But once you believe that you're best, whatever someone tells you, whether they call you names or like the lady who walked up to me and told me, I need to lose this, I'd sweep it under the carpet and make it my own narrative. As for them, they can walk in. You said you can go in and buy your fries and no one will judge you, same to you. But do you know, if I was to walk into a Chips KFC, someone would look at me like, you know, you're going to add on to what you already have. But so long as I believe in myself, as I said when we were beginning, I can carry my own weight easily. If we were to start a race here, I can outrun majority of you.
Nice.
Yeah. So believe in who you are. If it's something that you've seen it's bothering you, seek professional help. But if it's something you know that, social media, as we've said, plays a very big influence, shut down those channels. Begin following people who inspire you. For me, I have my own social media channels, and as I'm working out, I look at those who will inspire me. Some are skinny, some are as big as I am, but they both preach one message: love yourself. Because if I don't love myself, then I'll begin working out and getting into those fad diets to fit into that carb box. But if I love myself, I know when I'm running or when I'm doing whatever exercise I'm doing, it's for my own health. For me personally, I'm doing it, as I told a friend of mine, I'm doing it for my babies. I have 2 toddlers, 2 and 1. So I need to keep up with them. So I'm working out to keep up with them,
Yeah.
not to lose weight. If I lose weight, well and good. If it doesn't go away, well and good. But I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for them. I take those comments and turn them around.
And turn them around. I love that
So
attitude.
that's how
yeah.
I become bulletproof. So believe in who you are. People will come and put on whatever they want on you, but you don't have to let it sink in.
Maybe I can
What
add
about you,
something.
Anne? What
Yeah,
kind of
yes.
advice would you like to give people briefly?
From a real experience, I've been very skinny. I've been a toothpick. They judged me. They bullied me. I was biggie, 105. They judged me. They bullied me. So there's no perfect
Yeah.
body for the society.
Of course, I love
Teenagers, if you're watching, there's no perfect. The perfect body is what you feel in your heart. As my fellow MC said, there's no, every man has a six-pack. If you feel it, you want to arrange your six-packs, arrange them. But don't arrange them for me. Don't arrange them for TV. Don't arrange them for social media. Arrange them for your heart, how you feel it. Do you want to be chubby? Work on it. Do you want to be skinny? Work on it. If they tell you to be skinny and you're chubby, don't be skinny because of them. Be skinny for you.
Yeah.
Be chubby for you.
You know, I don't even think there's anything for me to add on, to be quite honest. I mean, this is truly inspirational, and I think we can officially call it the end of the day. But I want to pick up a few things that you have said. You know, nobody is immune. Nobody is immune to body shaming. Like we said, because especially if we're dealing with people who are going to make a comment unintentionally, intentionally, and we all fall under the same, pressures, societal pressures to appear a certain way. But like you said, cultivating a positive self-talk. Yeah. We are always our worst critics. So before we even start saying, oh my God, this person body shamed me, this person body shamed me, you have no control, like Teacher Simon so rightfully said, you have no control over what people can say, but you have every single power on how you take it. So if I'm sitting over here and someone is telling me Ashiko looks like this, Ashiko looks like that, she looks like a cow, she looks like a dog, I know I'm not a dog. I know I'm not a cow. So positive self-talk, be your number one fan. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you need to love every single thing that you see. Because remember, you are a piece of a puzzle without which the puzzle is incomplete. So you better love yourself, my dear. You better love yourself. So remember to keep this conversation going on our newly launched Facebook page at Dadas KBC Channel 1 or on my personal pages at Ashiko, the host, across all social media platforms. And on behalf of the production team at KBC, our location partner, Emara Ole Sereni, here in Nairobi, and myself, Ashiko Mbone, I thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next time, same place, talking about the same wonderful things. Now, have yourself a self-loving week. Till then, bye-bye.